Welcome back to another video for my small business owners. And for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Sam Day and I help small businesses with their marketing. And in today's video, I really wanted to touch on how to get your small business found in Google. I feel like there are so many misconceptions about Google and about how small businesses can approach Google. It's a term known as search engine optimization, so SEO. And that basically speaks to how you can operate your website and your online presence in a way that you're being found. So I speak to like multiple different types of small business owners. You have the small business owner who knows a little bit about search engine optimization. And then you have the business owner who knows that Google is a powerful platform and they want their business and their website to be showing up in Google, but they're just happy with their website showing up for their business name. So when someone searches their business name on Google, as long as they're showing up, then they're absolutely happy with that and that's fine. But obviously there's more of an opportunity in Google because not every customer is going to know who you are when they go to Google. So not every customer is going to type in your business name. Obviously it's really good credibility wise. If someone searches your business up in Google and they find you, then, you know, it shows in a lot of respects that you are a reputable business. You know, a lot of business owners, small business owners think that way. You know, I just want to show up when people search our name. And to be 100% honest with you, there's not that much you need to do in order to show up for your business name in Google. If that's what you're searching for, then all you really need to do is have some social media handles that has your business name and also create a website that has your business name, you know, and more or less, you know, Google can take a while to figure out that your website is published. There are a couple of things you can do to speed up this process, and I'll be sharing those things in future videos. However, you know, if you do the basics of just creating your social handles and creating your website, then you're more or less going to show up in Google for your business name. Now, if you want to take that a step further and you want to show up if your customers or potential customers don't know who you are, then you're going to want to do SEO, search engine optimization. And that's what I'm going to be touching on in this video. I want to keep it quite basic, quite elementary level for those of you who are new and just want to, you know, start generating customers. So what you'll see a lot of people say is that SEO or getting found in Google can take a while, like it's a journey. And whilst that is true, there are some ways you can get short wins in Google. So there are some ways you can kind of bypass this and you can kind of start ranking in Google for keywords that your potential customers are typing into Google and to find your business. And that's kind of what I want to focus on in today's video. So essentially, the very kind of first, I would say, easy trick to get yourself into Google, your small business into Google, is to get yourself into business directories. So one of the things that Google look for when they decide what companies to put in Google for particular search queries is how authoritative that website is. So if you are either a new business or you've just launched your website, Google see you as riskier than a website that's been established for a long time and has a really big name. So obviously you need to build up your credibility and build up your name before you can create a website that really starts ranking in Google. So if you list your business into business directories, you know, things like trustatrader.com, things like yale.com, you know, other business directories that might be specific to your industry, whatever your industry is, get yourself in those directories. And if you can, leave a link to your website. Because even if your website doesn't show up when your customers are typing something into Google, then your listing in the business directory might show up because the business directory has more authority than your current business and your current website. So you can get some short-term wins in the search engines if you are in these business directories. If you are a local business, then obviously it makes sense for you to have a Google business profile. So you can literally go to Google and type in Google business profile and set yourself up for a Google business profile. Essentially what that is it allows your customers to find you locally. So let's say you operate in New York and let's say you are a barbershop, then you can create a Google business profile so that when people are searching for barbershop in your area, then they can find you. So Google are really good at matching local businesses with people's search queries. And you'll notice as well, if you search Google on your phone for barbershop or, another local business, it will show you a list of different businesses in that area, and you can go to their website, you can get directions, you can see their opening and closing times. And that's all developed within Google Business Profile. So if you are a local business, you definitely want to make use of that. It's a lot easier to get ranked in Google Business Profile than it is to rank your website into Google. So that's kind of another short win that you can have in the search engines. Now, for those of you who are selling products online, so physical products, maybe that's your business, then you can actually get featured in Google product listing ads. Let's say you go to Google, for example, and you type in laptops. One thing that you might see are different products with pictures, pricing and stuff like that. And you can scroll across these and you can click one and go to the website. These are known as Google product listing ads. And yes, you do have to pay normally to be featured there. But if you go to Google and type in Google product listing ads, then you can create an account for your business. And there's actually an option for you to list your products for free on Google product listing ads. And a lot of small businesses don't realize this. If you have a small budget, then there is this option for you to list it there for free. So there's the possibility that your products can actually be found on Google without spending any money. Now, obviously, you're going to get more clicks and more visibility to your products if you do pay for advertisement through the Google product listing ads. However, if you don't have a budget or you just want some visibility, I recommend signing up for it, and just putting your products on there, because at the end of the day, you're not losing out having your products listed there. So let's speak a little bit about some search engine optimization basics, like some basics of how to get your website ranking in Google and how to get people finding your business through your website. First and foremost, the most important thing are your keywords. So the keywords are the things that your potential customers are going to be typing in to find your small business. You want to do a little bit of empathy marketing. Think about the product or the service that you offer and what are people likely to search or go to Google to search for to find that. So let's say, for example, you are a dentist in a particular area. Someone might go to Google and type in dentist in Colorado or dentist in London, wherever it is that you are based. So if that's a keyword that you want to show up for in Google, then you need to make sure you have a page on your website that is optimized for that keyword. So I've mentioned this in some other YouTube videos as well, but it's important to understand how Google actually works. So Google don't rank entire websites all at once. What Google will do is they rank individual web pages based off of the information that's on that page. So let's say, for example, you have a website that has 10 pages. Those are 10 new opportunities for you to be found in Google for different keywords, potentially if you do things right. If you have 100 pages on your website, then that creates 100 opportunities for you to be found in the search engines for different keywords. So essentially, the more web pages you have, the more opportunities you have to be found in Google for different types of keywords. But there are some people who go like super crazy about this and they just publish pages that are irrelevant and don't bring any value, and they just hope that all of them rank in Google. Google are also looking for quality as well as quantity. So sometimes less can be more, and you can gradually build your web pages over time. But if you are a business that has multiple services that you offer or multiple products that you offer, and each of them require different keywords, then try and put all of those services or products on different pages and optimize those services or those products for the keywords that are relevant to them. I would try and stay away from having one page on your site that you're trying to optimize for multiple keywords. That can kind of dilute the keyword, and Google can get confused as to what keyword they should actually show that page for in Google's index. So going back to my dentist example, if you wanted to show up for dentist in London, I would actually create a page on my website dedicated to that keyword, dentist in London. So first and foremost, you want to make sure that that keyword appears in your URL. So once I've created that page, I will change the URL to yourwebsite.com/dentist in London. So before I go on to the other places on your website where that keyword needs to be, it's really important that you don't watch this video and then go back over your old URLs and change them all. Because what happens is you can break those URLs. So if you have a product or a service page and the URL doesn't currently have your keywords in it, but then you change it, then your old URLs, people may still have links to it and people might click on it and it doesn't take them to that page anymore because you've changed the URL. So you need to be really careful before you go back over your website and make changes to the URL, because if it no longer works and Google can see that there's a page that is broken, that can actually negatively impact how Google see your website. They just see your website as, you know, there's loads of pages that don't work on this website. This isn't a quality website. So you want to be careful when you're making any URL changes to your site. I will be putting out a video soon how your business can change the URL to something a little bit more keyword friendly without losing favor in Google's eyes. And I'll also leave an article in the description down below as well from Google about redirects and how you can do that. So if you want more information on that, click the link in the description down below, and make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss when I put out more information about this. So you also want to make sure that you change the SEO settings of each and every page on your website. Whether that's a Squarespace website, a Shopify, or WordPress, they all have SEO settings. If it's WordPress, you might want to download an SEO specific plugin, and this allows you to easily change the SEO settings for your website as a whole, but also the individual pages. Remember, the individual pages are really important because that's what Google are going to come to your website and index one by one. They index your pages, not your website as one whole. So in your SEO settings, you should see something that says meta title and meta description, or it might say SEO title or SEO description, depending on what website builder you are using. And you want to make sure that in the meta title and the meta description, you give a little title that is SEO friendly and contains your keywords in there. And also in the description as well, the meta description, again, make sure that you fill that out and put your keywords in there. So that is actually what is seen in Google. If I go to Google now and I type in something like, you know, how to bake a cake, you will see in the results, you will see titles and you'll see descriptions. That is usually there because the person who owns that website has changed the SEO meta title and meta description. So whatever you put in that meta title or meta description, Google will use inside of their search results if they decide to rank that page into Google. But it also gives Google a better understanding about what that page is about. So Google will see your URL, then they'll see your SEO title and your SEO description, and they'll start to really formulate an idea of what this page is about and where it should be indexed and when they should show that page when someone is typing in something in Google. So let's say, for example, you have the URL of yourwebsite.com/dentist in London. You also have your keywords in your SEO title or your meta title and your meta description. Google sees all of that and they say, I think this page on this website is about a dentist in London. So if someone comes to Google and types in dentist in London, then Google sees your web page as a potential to show to them. Now, there are other factors as well. And just because you optimize your website doesn't automatically mean your page is going to show up, but it gives you the best possible chance of showing up. So some other key places where you want to put your keyword or your main keyword is in the title of your page, also known as your heading 1 or H1. So when you create a new website, let's use Squarespace or Shopify, for example, it gives you some stylistic options. And one of the stylistic options usually says H1 or heading 1. And a lot of people think it's just there for design. You know, they use it if it looks good on the page. But actually, your heading 1 or your H1 should be used as your title of your page. So the first thing that you see on the page. And that should also contain your keywords in some way, shape, or form as well. Because Google look to that. They look to see what is the heading of this page? What is the title of this page? And that heading automatically creates what's known in marketing as a H1 tag. It allows for Google to actually see what the main theme of this website is. So if you don't have a title on that page, or if you have a title but it's not currently in a heading tag or in the H1 or the heading style option, then you're missing a trick. You want to make sure that your keywords are in the heading of your pages or of that particular page. And then obviously you want to try and, scatter your keywords around the product description if it's a product page, the blog article if it's an article that you're writing, and also, your services page. Make sure your keywords are within the text that you write for that page. You don't have to overuse it, 4 to 5 times usually is okay. And then you can start using variations of your keywords. What a lot of kind of new small business owners might do is just overuse their keyword. If you use it a few times, Google understand what that page is about. The AI is intelligent enough to pick it up. You don't want to have one of the two extremes. You don't want to have your keyword not in there at all, but also you don't want to have it in there too much because Google can see that as spammy. You want to make sure that your pages on your website actually read naturally and it doesn't read like you're just using your keyword all the time so that, you can rank higher in Google. Google also want to see that your website is highly authoritative and that you're not just some random scammer on the internet. And one of the ways to prove this to Google is to consistently be updating your website. And the easiest way to do this is via a blog. So you can create a blog that sits on your website, and this also allows you to produce loads of new pages on your site as well. So think about your blog as a resource for your ideal customers. So for example, if I'm a dentist in London, there are loads of questions that people might have about dentists in London, and I can answer those questions in the form of my blog article. So I could go to, for example, the Google Keyword Planner tool. This is a free tool that Google provides, and it allows you to see how many searches per month particular keywords are getting. It also allows you to see some common questions that your target customers might have if you prompt it. Also, you can use a tool called answerthepublic.com as well. This is a premium tool, but it does allow you to use it for free for a certain amount of searches per day. So let's say I type in dentist in London, it will give me a list of keywords that people type in that are relevant to dentist in London. So I might want to take some of those keywords and turn them into blog articles, and I can answer questions that people have on the internet relating to my product or relating to my service. So what this does is it allows for you to show Google that you are an authority in this space. You're answering the common questions that your target customers have about your industry and about the products or the services that you have on offer. It also allows you to be consistently updating your website, and as well as that, every new article that you post on your website counts as a new page. Remember when we spoke about the more pages you have, the more opportunities you have to be found in Google for different keywords. So I recommend every article you put out, try and target a different question that your target customers have relating to your industry or your products or your services. And within that article, make sure the articles are actually written well. If it's an article that is just, rushed because you're just trying to rank for as many keywords as possible, Google can see right through that. You want to make sure that your blog articles actually contain really good information for your target audience. So these are just some SEO basics for small business owners. I will be putting out more content like this as well. So if you need additional help with your SEO and ongoing support, then make sure you subscribe to this channel. And I hope you found this video helpful. If you did and you want to see more content on how you can market your small business online more effectively, then please make sure you click that like button and subscribe to this channel. It helps me to put out more content that will hopefully help you guys. And if you want to work with me one-to-one, I'll leave my details in the description as well as my email address so you can contact me. But until next time, guys, have a great day and I'll see you soon.